And in the beginning of this decade, African growth rates, like I mentioned, that the high commissioners have been incredible. And it is going on and on. If you look at the last, the African growth opportunities, the AGWA, which has been voted just recently, and if to give you examples, like GE has committed almost $2 billion into Africa. Our own Fairfax Holdings, which is based in Toronto, has invested, I think has taken almost 30% of African reinsurance company. So a lot of things are happening in Africa, and as from world over, money is getting poured into Africa. And today we're just going to take a few, so that for us as members of the chamber, what are the opportunities, the real opportunities that exist right now. Now, one of the things when people talk about the economy of a country doing well, one of the things that we always look at is how good is the stock market there. Because that is a real indication. The stock market is always ahead of the economy. And the stock market is, as we say in economic terms, the leading indicator. So it shows the resilience of the economy, it shows the growth rate, it is always ahead. So just to give you an example, first of all, there's different stock exchanges in East Africa. You have the Nairobi Stock Exchange, the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange, the Uganda Securities Exchange, the Rwanda Stock Exchange, which started very recently in 2011. However, the Nairobi Stock Exchange and the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange have been there for a long time. And if just to give you an example, on the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange, the liquidity, which means the volume, the number of equities which has been exchanged in the first quarter of 2015 has been 4 times what was in 2014. That's huge. Which means, without looking, money is pouring into the market. So us from the diaspora, we are just waiting and watching, and it will become like the India story or the China story, and it's already taken off, then, oh, where was I? So just to give you, that's why, just to give you some indication here. This is the stock performance over the last 2 years of the Dar es Salaam, which is the DSE, which is around 75%. 1 year is 32%. You could see that the performance on these stock exchanges have been very good. And this story is going on. If you go even look at the last 5 years, 10 years, it's the same story. Slowly but surely, Africa is moving on. And this is the indicator. The stock exchange is the indicator because this is where money goes in and out. You could see, and me being in the investment industry, this is what I look at. So, for all of you who are still sitting and looking and considering, I would say consider, even in your portfolio. Now, one of the things that's happening is there are certain new products which are being launched on the Kenya Stock Exchange, which is the Nairobi, which is the exchange traded funds. And this has been discussed and it's going to be launched in July. So those who are from East Africa, these are the things that we could be looking at because these are very liquid. They'll be launched in Kenya, in South Africa, and also in Egypt. So there are a few of the exchanges that you can buy on. As well as the Kenya, especially Kenya has been recognized as a frontier market. It's part of we have the emerging markets and we have the frontier market. Now the frontier market are the market which are resilient, which have continued growth, and which has growth, which have relatively good performance. And these countries now, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, all being touted as the frontier market economies. You have the diaspora which is living. This is one of the key focus of the chamber is working with the diaspora in Toronto, in Canada. The diaspora in Canada can help because we know these companies. A lot of us know the companies that we have worked with for many, many years, and they are very strong. It's very difficult to get a loan in Kenya or in Nairobi or in Tanzania. Even I come from Mauritius. If you want to go to get a loan, you have to put your house as collateral. It's very, very tough to get loans. So those banks are actually very strong banks because they have very less bad assets, not like the Citigroup or the Bank of America. You know, so those are companies that we might look at. One other thing is happening is East Africa, like the High Commission has kept on telling us, not competing against each other. So there is a cross-listing of companies which are listed on the stock exchange in Nairobi are now being listed in Rwanda, are now being listed in Uganda and Tanzania. So what is happening is somebody in East Africa can invest from anywhere into a company which may have its base in Kenya, but somebody in Dar es Salaam will be buying those shares. And the other thing that is happening, because of the discovery of a lot of mines and oil and gas and all this, many companies are actually being cross-listed on the London Stock Exchange. Now, to give you a perspective of the London Stock Exchange, London Stock Exchange and Toronto Stock Exchange are the two largest stock exchanges where we have mining companies. So, us, if we want opportunities from North America, why not have companies listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange and the Kenyan Stock Exchange others? So this is things that we can work out as a chamber and with all of you present. Like I also mentioned, one of the things that, because many of us, I'm an investor, or I invest money for my clients, so what they want is how safe it is. Or if I want to take my money out, can I sell and pay it back? I mentioned an example was in the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange, the volume increased by 4 times. You know what it means? It means that people are buying and selling. And that's going bound to increase. So yes, liquidity is coming in the market. One also interesting thing is the bond market, which is basically fixed income. Some of us like to invest, obviously we diversify our portfolio, real estate and stocks and all. But bonds are another area where they are getting secondary market. What it means is if you can buy bonds and sell bonds on these exchanges, especially on the Nairobi Stock Exchange. So these are the things that, you know, as investors we should be looking at. Like I say, don't wait for too long because it will become a game. And the boat has gone away, then you're just waiting and watching and waiting and watching and things will not. So if you need, what you need to do is try to get, if you're interested, try to get more information. You can go online, you can contact me, or you know, even from all the sources, everything is available online. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention, and thanks a lot for all of you to come. I will now ask our